it is possible to make a feature film without a producer, but it's not easy. I mean, we've got a film, haven't we? So
Yeah.
So it does work, and I think both of us are quite organised people. But I can now understand why there's a massive list of names at the end of a film with line producers and assistant, because it's a hell of a lot to do, even on a small budget film with not many cast, isn't it?
Yeah, and the thing about the producer is that they have to think about all the stuff that isn't creative, money and locations and the basic things. And when you then have to think about those things as well, what happens is things start to get missed. Quite significant things sometimes, like scripts and stuff like that.
We really did turn up to the main bulk of the filming in the Lake District without a printed script. So that was a struggle.
Well, particularly when you're in a wild, crazy location and one of the actors said, what's this line supposed to be? And I would look at Kerry and go, I have no idea. And Kerry would say, neither have I. But another thing about not having a producer was poor Kerry would have loved to have done the storyboards, which are these little drawings. Am I right in saying the little drawings of how it's going to look?
They are.
I would generally imagine a director would want to have those at least a couple of months beforehand, sit down with all his crew and go through them. Kerry was doing them the night before we were shooting every day in the Lake District.
In my defence, partly, that was to do with another aspect of making a film, not so much without a producer, but for very little money, is that things have to change. You have to be very flexible, which is quite hard, certainly for some of the actors to get their head round, I think, sometimes, wasn't it? The fact that maybe we'd rehearsed a scene a few months before and all of a sudden things out of our control happened. I mean, the pub scene where David and Liz go for a drink, it was a very different pub that we'd been, and we'd recce'd it and we'd sorted it, our permissions out, and then so we knew where they were going to walk and how it was all going to work, and then it shut down the week we got there, having to find no notice another pub. It's quite tricky.
Yeah, well, I think, and Kerry was very sort of professional how he went about doing that. He basically went out for a drink with a few of the crew, came back and said we went to a pub and met this nice woman, asked her if we could film the scene there, and she said yes. So
yeah,
went out for a beer and managed to find us a new location.
That's the way it works. And then I guess the other example, the one that I think adds to the film, is the fireworks scene. We needed a near miss. We needed a chance for the two main characters to nearly meet each other again, but not quite. And in the script, it was
Liz's car had been picked up by the AA or whoever, and I think we knew we couldn't do it. No way could we afford it.
It's the logistics, isn't it? Something like that, having to control traffic, and so we were racking our brains, and it turned out we were filming in November in the lakes, and bonfire night, so it struck us that a bonfire would be a great chance to nearly bump into someone. We knew we didn't have time to get permission, so we found one. There was a sprint through this town to get there, and as we arrived, like, right, well, let's just start filming because this is going to finish. So we improvised a scene, basically, I think. And
the thing that Kerry hasn't mentioned there is there was no fire.
And then, yes, so then
it
finished, the fireworks finished, and everyone started to leave. They put these big security lights on, and we were just thinking, well, but there's the fire, why are people not staying around for a jacket potato? And that was our only chance to get that scene, and I think the film would have been so weak without a scene where they nearly met.
And the nice thing for Kerry and I with that scene is it was never planned. We were not meant to be doing that scene. It was really difficult for them to film it, and it's one of the nicest scenes in the film.
Yeah, yeah.